Welcome to the October 24th, 2024 school board meeting. Please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Will you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the
Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Burns Middle School, we have Miss Callie Hedge. Mr. Nate Buchanan.
Thank you, Callie and Nate. Or I would like to recognize.
Do we have any sign-ups for the public comment on actual item?
No, we do not.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we have to approve the actual items before we can have public comments on, in case anybody wants to add anything to the agenda.
Thank you.
I seen that when it first come out, and I meant to email that to you, but I forgot.
We want to welcome Burns Middle School Choir. And so if they would come forward under the direction of Rebecca Joyner. So Miss Daniels, if you want to get them up here.
We are so proud to have you here. We're trying to showcase the arts each month, and this is the performing arts that have traveled here from Burns. We're so excited. They're going to show you part of their Veterans Day performance.
So two, good. Part one, part two. So you will first step forward. Please, Megan, Waylon, do behind. There we go. No, we're kind of angled. Thank you, Ms. Daniel, for that introduction. I am Rebecca Joyner at my Burns Middle School. This is This is my 7th and 8th grade choir, or a portion of them. We are an after-school rehearsal choir, so we meet once a week after school and once during the week during our study hall time, our CAP time. This is about half of my 7th and 8th grade choir, which is an excellent turnout for a Thursday evening at 7 p.m., let me just say. Very, very, very proud of them, and thank you so much to my parents who are also here supporting and watching. That means so much to me, but also, of course, your kiddos. And then we also have a 6th grade choir, which is 35 strong, which is super awesome. So again, these are all after-school programs. But we are performing a Veterans Day program November 9th at Burns Middle School with our BMS Drama program, which really the whole BMS Fine Arts, so we're also going to have a trumpet player, I believe. And if you have a veteran, or if you are a veteran, please come out to our program November 9th. It's at 2 p.m. You're going to hear some moving music and also some nice monologues from our theater students, and lots of history in there. So it's going to be a good program. But we're going to sing the national anthem for you. Don't feel like you have to stand. This is a performance of the national anthem, not necessarily one of these. But you more than welcome to put your hand over your heart while you sit there if you feel so fine. Okay.
So proud.
we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I have 3 students who are going to take just a little bit of your time just to tell you why choir is important to them. I'm sorry I'm not facing you guys, but you're behind my students. So, can I get Waylon? Can you go first? Sorry. This is Waylon. He is a 7th grader. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why choir is important to you?
So I believe that if you're shy and you need like a little confidence boost, then I believe that if you're in choir, then you have to sing in front of these huge crowds that we perform at, and it helps you like get more friendships involved, and just like get your real confidence boost to be able to put yourself out there and do more stuff than you normally would. So that's why I believe that choir would be good as a choir.
Waylon also got the opportunity last year to go to the Middle Tennessee honor choir for all middle school students, which was super awesome. And so did Waylon, or no, sorry, Bishop, if you would come on out here. And Abby, if you want to be with them, that's fine. They're both going to say something. So 2 peas in a pod. Bishop, why don't you tell us a little bit, also 7th grade, why you like choir?
Well, I just want to start out. Thank you for letting us be here. We are very grateful to be here, and I'm just saying why choir is important to me and to the rest of the choir. For starters, choir is so much more than just standing on risers and singing. It's really, for me, an escape from like the outside world, because it is such a safe place. Every time I'm in choir, I really just feel so safe, and that it's a judgment-free zone, and I can just be myself and at ease, and the vibe just completely changes as soon as I step into the ring. And also, it just helps us develop like our voice. Like I do musical theater outside of this, and when I started out, my singing was okay, but as I started being more involved with the choir, my voice started to grow, and I could like tell that it just started to develop more. And all of us have grown our voices so much. If you ever heard us sing last year, you can tell that there were a lot of big changes, because we take so much from the little time we have to rehearse. And yeah.
Very well spoken, Bishop. Great job. And this is Abby, also 7th grade. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why you like choir?
So also thank you for letting us come and perform. I joined choir because I wanted to like make more friends and feel like I meant something to people, because before I joined choir, I felt like nobody listened to me and nobody like cared. So whenever I joined choir, once I stepped into Miss Joyner's wonderful, amazing room of no judgment.
I didn't hear.
I mean, I sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, you didn't. It was a no judgment room. My classmates are wonderful. They make you smile. They make you happy. They just lighten up your day. And Miss Joyner is amazing. She makes you happy when you're feeling down, and she's just amazing.
We're gonna get out of your hair. I know that there's a lot on the agenda tonight, likely. So I am just, again, very grateful for the time that you gave us. And I applaud you guys. That was amazing. Great job. If you're my kiddo's parents and you want to follow your child,
Thank you, Ms. Joyner.
thank you so much for that, guys.
Board members, I would like to recognize three transportation bus drivers. Rex Gatlin, David Sensing, and Dennis Miller. All three of these gentlemen have done all of their trainings. They met all local, state, and federal requirements to become bus drivers, and I want to say thank you. So, are they here with us?
I didn't see them at 7 unless they think.
Okay, so we will recognize them. I know that it's been a hard week with
Right.
Miss Melissa's sister Faye passing away. So we will recognize them again.
Okay, next we have approval of the agenda. Do you have any additions or changes?
Motion to approve.
I need to add C4 RFQ on at Stuart Burns Elementary School and White Bluff Elementary School roof,
3C4.
3C4.
Retract my previous motion and make a motion to approve as amended.
A motion to approve as amended. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Haley. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. There was a copy left on the table. Have an addition. Do we have any changes or comments about the agenda? Previous minutes, previous minutes.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Thiel. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have recognitions. Student board representatives. We have Ms. Baldwin and Ms. Reynolds. Which one wants to go first?
Hi, thank you so much for having me again tonight. I'm just going to give you a run through of what's been going on at school and what's coming up. So, homecoming day was on Friday, October 4th, and I'm happy to report that after a long week of long nights, the seniors came out on top. So, over fall break, our girls soccer team finished their season as district champions. And both of our cross-country teams advanced from districts and will be moving on to regional competition next Wednesday. The date for the drama club's next play, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, has been set for December 5th through December 7th. And on Monday night, the high school will host the 11th annual Haunting on the Hill, now put on by our wonderful Miss Joyce. And with several clubs participating to make sure that the kids have fun and get sent home with lots of sugar, but also raise money for the help center and raise food donations.
Please come.
Yes, please come. Tuesday is the free ACT retake for the senior class, and incentives will be given for students who increase their score by at least 2 points. And the juniors will take the pre-ACT that day also. And the freshmen and sophomores will be on a virtual learning day. Tomorrow night is DCHS hosts Pink Out football game. To raise awareness for making strides against breast cancer, they will be selling baked goods. It is also the last home game of our season and senior night for cheerleaders, dancers, and football players. Senior Beta Convention is coming up November 21st through the 23rd for our DCHS Beta Club, where members will be competing in several different competitions against other Beta members across the state. I will be competing in the language arts category, and we hope to bring back some wins. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone, and happy first week back from fall break. Hope you were all able to enjoy some time off over the past 2 weeks. In personal news, as you can see, I had a minor procedure on my shoulder last week. I would like to thank each of you for the nice card. It certainly helped brighten my night when I got it. In school news, our volleyball team has advanced to the state tournament. We were able to take 2 pet buses and took over 90 students to support our Lady Redhawks. We'll be having our CTE Expo on November 14th, and there will be 42 vendors, which is the largest expo in Creekwood history. The Nashville Shakespeare Company is performing Macbeth for some of our English students. They'll be doing workshops with our theater department. Creekwood football will have their last regular season football game on Thursday, October 31st. We'd love for you to attend and wear your costume. Tomorrow we will host our senior ACT pep rally. Seniors will take their ACT retake next Tuesday. Harvest on the Hill will also be next Tuesday, October 29th, from 5 to 8 p.m. This community event will include trunk or treat, haunted house, petting zoo, costume contest, pumpkin gallery walk, and food trucks. Proceeds will be donated to local nonprofit organizations. HOSA is hosting a blood drive on November 5th, and parent-teacher conferences will also be Monday, November 5th. Our Creekwood cheer team will be traveling to South Haven, Mississippi this weekend to compete for a bid to the national competition. The esports season has begun, and our team has secured the first win in school history. JROTC Raiders are competing at Fort Knox over the weekend, and the bowling season has kicked off, and our students are ready to roll. Our Beta officers, President is Ava Beckwith, Vice President Ty Angelino, Secretary Hallie Strickland, Treasurer Chris Foster, and Historian is Tyler Axelson. Beta members will be attending the state convention on November 21st. Students have selected their competitions and are working on their projects now. Thank you.
Under finance, monthly financial report for all funds.
Yes. Board members, if you will see the summary of revenues and expenditures through September the 30th of 2024, you will see that the revenues and expenditures show a decrease for this year over last year. Revenues for sales tax also shows a decrease. If you look at expenditures with utilities, diesel fuel, and gasoline, you will also see a decrease in those percents as well from last year's. Questions in regards to that? Are there any questions in regards to our 141, 142, 143 in our 177 fund. I would like for you to be aware that within our 141 fund, general purpose fund, we are currently at our 18% of the budgeted revenues for the year and 18% of budgeted expenditures for the year. Bill?
For our next meeting, could you bring us, maybe during the planning session, just like some projections on where we might be on other contracted services based on the items that we already know about? Like I realize that under that category, we often don't know, but based on prior history, what do we think those totals might be? I appreciate it. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Have any other questions? We have a motion to approve monthly financial report for all funds. So move. Got a second? Second by Mr. Chadwick. Any other discussion or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick.
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have quarterly report, first quarter.
Are there any questions in regards to the quarterly reports with our 141, 142, and 143 and 177 funds for the quarterly report?
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the quarterly reports as presented in a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Approved bids for Creekwood CPE building. I also have Tim Little here to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions on the CTE bid?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Parker?
This might be for Mr. Tim, but do we know anybody that's ever used our low bid? Or know anything about the contractor for the low bid?
Even with them in the past, I can't think of particular things, but I don't remember bad experience. I know. Talked to some other folks that they're on another project we may be involved in. I found out yesterday maybe. Let's see. I have no pro or con specific either way myself.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We have a motion to approve the bids in the CTE.
Move to approve low bid.
Second. Motion to approve the low bid, which is Beach Construction. Any other discussion? Have a motion and a second to approve Beach Construction Services bid.
Where they're located.
It's on this piece. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, Marna.
Things we discussed during the work session, right?
Any other question? Roll call vote, please.
Miss Lampley?
Yes.
Miss Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Miss Thiel?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have approval of maintenance vehicles. We've got the lights. Oh, yes, you are correct. 3.6 point, correct.
Esther.
We got Esther.
Yes, sir, contract.
Oh, yes. We need to go back to B4. We've got fiscal year 25 ESSER fund board that need board approval. It's this sheet.
One question. This is expenses from the past.
Yes, it is.
For the 24 year and some for the 25. Yes. And you will see that in the height of the pandemic, the first part, as the pandemic continued, what we spent, and then as the pandemic subsided. And so we will have to have a motion to approve the FY25 ESSER 3.0 application for the board to approve.
So we're just approving a
We're
line
just
for
approving.
additional funding.
Yes.
We had funds that were allocated in the 24 year and we allocated those funds, but we weren't able to liquidate them yet. So for example, our audio enhancement, we had those budgeted, allocated. That work actually was completed in August. And so we have to pay that in the FY25 year. And that's why we need board approval of that. Everything has been, yeah, exactly. It's all been allocated. September 30th was our last date of allocation.
Oh, that's keep.
Yes, sir.
And
Mhm.
the new funds come in, that's right.
No, it's
Right.
It's over.
Nothing new.
Motion to.
What, Mr. Pat?
How many homeless students do we have?
We have around 130 homeless students according to the federal definition of homelessness. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna second for discussion. Madam Chair, have we not, most of these, I guess I'm asking, did we not approve most of the spending of this as we've spent it?
Yes, sir.
That's
You have
okay.
approved all of it. I was really just trying to give you some highlights just to remind you what we spent.
Right, so we're
As the
just,
fund balance.
we're approving,
We're just approving that we carried over a little into 2025 to really be able to finish expending all that into this year.
thank you.
We did not want to give that back.
No.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Miss Lampley?
Yes.
Miss Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Miss Thiel?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, under maintenance, I skipped ahead before. Approval of the Creekwood High School soccer lights.
This piece of paper here is what we discussed at the planning session. And the cost is at $189,000 for that project.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve in a second for the Creekwood lights. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Those are revised, go check.
Before we do, next, we're going to jump back to under Finance 5 contract, the County of Dickson. I have the wrong.
The contract is in your orange folder. You saw this, Mr. Hall sent it.
Do we have two different agendas?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
on the wrong
The
one
new
too.
one is in your
It's in this
orange
packet.
folder.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
Sorry
it. I'm
about
good with it.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Hall on this contract? That is for the purchase of the 115 Sylvage Road Highway Department.
Yes, Mr. Haley.
Mr. Hall, are you okay with this contract? You read through it, you approved the contract?
I did.
It's based on what we voted on previously for the funding.
It is.
Paul's in line with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have any other questions for Mr. Hall?
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Haley and a second by Mr. Parker. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carried. Now we're finally to maintenance vehicle.
Board members, this is what we discussed in the planning session to purchase 2 maintenance vehicles. After the planning session, I asked Mr. Gerald to present to me the mileage and years of all the trucks, the fleets that we have, and the majority are old, lots of miles. And so I know that some have asked, is it necessary to purchase 2 trucks currently? To have 1 truck. I do know that a lot of work is going on with maintenance, and director of maintenance, Mr. Gerald, said that 2 are needed, and I would go with his recommendation just due to the nature and the years on our trucks if 1 breaks down. But that would be up to your approval. But my recommendation would be to purchase 2 vehicles for maintenance.
Is that report something that you could share with us, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We're replacing 2 vehicles, or are we adding to the fleet?
We are adding to the fleet. Mr. Gerald, do you want to speak to that?
So we will add to the fleet this year, and who that's coming off will set a spare vehicle at the shop, and then we'll probably come back to you next year, or the following year, based on what our repairs look like at the time. Get them as Garden, and they recommend take them off the road. We have deadlines some of our vehicles in years past. I don't have one deadline. We're trying to beat that.
Haley?
These trucks were planned for the budget ahead of time, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Budget already.
Yes.
Have a motion to approve in a second for the 2 maintenance vehicles. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Ms. Thiel?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Update on the sports complex, we're gonna table that until our planning, November 12th or December. Mr. Corley,
Yes, well.
10th, December. Okay, for December.
Next, we have the RFQ on Stewart Burns Elementary and White Bluff Elementary roofs. Mr. Clifton.
Brogdon, I spoke with Lane Lyle, Coach Martin, he's the designer on the roof up there. He would like to do an RFQ, question for qualifications, pre-qualify all the bidders for that roof. Spoken with Mr. Hall, and he may have some information for you, Bill. I know that information has been shared with Miss Valerie Underhill, but they'll have to advertise it. He would like to do that on November the 14th by a Zoom conference with all interested contractors. They bid that roof, it would bid directly from the pre-qualified contractors. Packet I sent you a bit ago, that has, how they're gonna store that and all that.
And it's a two-stage process, board members, that we haven't typically used before. But it makes sure that we get qualified applicants first. And then once we have the pool of qualified applicants, then we score it based on the low bid. So it's a two-stage process.
Any other questions for Mr. Hall? Well, I just want to confirm that the funds for these roofs will come from the 15 million.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just, no? Okay, then they're not in our current budget.
No.
Mr. Haley.
They are not in the 15 million resolution. They are not in our budget. We know they're coming up, and this is one planning process to go to county commission and ask for funding from our reserves. So the request will come in February, March, whenever at that point in time, but we have to cancel the carry to the county commission that. I'm going to be paid more.
There's also no money exchanges for this RFP. Wow, it's understood that, this is strictly for qualifications. He will set on the qualified bidders. You guys are ready to approve to bid it, because I couldn't see recommending to bid it until you think you have funds secured for it. That's the price out there, but I may not feel the honor. You're just getting qualified contractors, no additional charge to the district, no money exchanges.
Well, in the past, I hear you saying that. I'm just trying to clarify for myself. In the past, there's always been additional contracted fees that we have where we get, I'm not going to say architects, but someone involved, engineers or someone involved. And you're saying we will not have any of those expenses in this process.
Not in the RFQ, because this is all paid for in design fees. Could there be a change when they open up that roof, when the job actually happens, if they uncover something ugly? There may be a change that they have to come back. But Mr. Hall speaking on that, and I think Mr. Corley's here works for the same firm, that you may uncover an unforeseen when the roof comes off of that building. But for this process, there will
be no
money
funds.
changing hands at all. You've already in your original agreement have already contracted to cover this piece. If you never bid it out, on the qualifications for bidders.
Mr. Haley.
We approved the design fees some time ago, started the design work. Very few, like the cost that is them, it actually helps us to get qualifications. Going as which is asked us to do. money is taken care of, so we think it may time. This is a step in that process to get there. Doesn't mean they'll approve it, doesn't mean.
Thank you. I guess my only comment on that would be that I would like to see us be a little further along in knowing where we are with the 15 million that we asked for before we go to the county commission, because we're also going to have to go to the county commission about that same time, probably making some amendments to our budget. And so I just want to make sure that they understand that we are taking all of our finances very seriously. Mr. Haley?
From my perspective, I feel like whenever we go for the amendments, it's just gonna be part of it. It's gonna be a package deal. They know nothing about individual conversations out there with the county commissioner, with the county mayor, that he wants to see that stuff packaged together, plan. So a lot like this roof started. So, and I think a year ago, we thought it was time to go that route. The resolution itself had items in it that while they weren't bid, there was some sort of idea of how much we could spend. I know we discussed it one time, three and a half million, what it probably cost us. CPE, but that would be the lights and everything. Things seem to be falling in line what we had hoped to be, but we got the bid in, and that felt pretty good. Hopefully the athletic complex does the same. I think you spend $20 million over here, $40 million every year. We have to keep it within the scope of the 15 million along with the projects that were in there. And I think when the resolution came up, it was to put a lot of items on there to say, here's what all we can do with that. And we couldn't do it 15 million. Here's what we hope we can do with it. I don't think we'll get the things we hope to get done with that money. Doesn't go very far with some different projects. But I think we kept them not far at large, but it's been a process of requiring the high school goals done. They'll be able to see that puzzle get in there, be done.
Mr. Parker?
What's the acronym RFQ mean?
Request for qualification.
Thank you.
Mr. Lau has understood that they may set on the outcome of the request for qualifications for a month, 2 months, 6 months. You get down the road 5 years, you'll be there waiting when you're.
Needs to be done before we start that next process.
And I think he'll return to you possibly with something similar for the high wall. Certainly won't qualify people only that pretty large step.
We're looking for any kind of approval to move forward with that. Is that why it's on there? Move to approve.
Second.
To approve the RFQ in a second. Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley?
Yes.
Ms. Brockton?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Ms. Thiel?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have human resources.
Board members, you will see the human resource report for September of 2024. As you can see, we have no retirements for this month, but you can see the leave of absences, non-renewals. We have none. Hires, transfers, assignments, and reassignments listed. Questions in regards to this document?
This page is the last month.
It's a month. Yes, sir.
Didn't we several months ago approve when we added some things to the HR form, a line to identify people leaving for another job outside of education for higher pay? So,
Is it the dark blue?
it's a dark one.
So this report, only reports the ones last month. These are the indications that were provided by those people.
Okay. Were there any that left for teaching jobs?
see that as one teaching section.
Okay,
That resigned last month.
if there was not any, just don't put it on.
It doesn't report through this Google Doc that we have. It only reports those that they indicated last month.
So if we had one with that reason, it would be on the report.
I just think it's important that we know why people leave. And other, unless there's some very extreme personal reason why it can't be identified, but what does that tell us? Other what? Other reasons why?
That is an option, Mr. Chadwick, for people. That long list that we do have.
They're not comfortable with saying why.
That confident, yes.
Okay. I just think it's very important that we know why people leave. What we can do to keep our teachers.
Any other questions? We get some.
The next item is in your orange packet, and I am sharing with you Miss Ernestine's updated job description, and you will see that. I also, due to the fact that she is part-time, I'm also sharing with you, it's just the contract, but that's how we write those. Her job description is listed. Job descriptions are approved by the board, and so I am asking that you approve this job description.
Second. There's a motion to approve the job description in a second. Any other discussion?
Does this not look a lot different than our other ones?
This is a part-time, so it looks different because it's still on a, I write on like a contract for part-time individuals. And then her job description, you'll see under services. So all of job descriptions for part-time will look like this.
How is the contracted paid? Out of, I mean, I see the number. I'm just, where does that
Where
come
is that
out of?
coming from?
Yeah.
It will be our instructional line item. Where is Miss Valerie? For Miss Ernestine, when we do part-time contracts, it depends on the line item. So where would Miss Ernestine's be coming from?
It's currently been paid from 72 through 99, but she should move up into, I believe it'll be 72 to 10, 180. I'll double check on.
Have any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Just because this lists an amount per day, and it's going to about how many days are we thinking?
She
5 days,
currently,
or
she has done 3 days a week.
okay.
But that depends on what the ask is from me and the time of year.
Okay, so this is the type of thing that I think would be helpful to us as a board. Like if in fact this is going to be charged to that 72130-189.
It's 722.
180, okay. So, okay,
Mhm.
because that would have the funds to cover this,
Mhm.
but I don't know what else is in there. And so that's why I think if we kind of had some rough idea, like I was talking about in the beginning, then we would know when we get other contracts like this,
Right.
how it
And
would
it would
impact
be
the budget.
different depending on the contracts, but we could put that on this contract of where we would pull that.
Mr. Haley?
Mr. Hall, I have a question for you,
Yes, sir.
and this is just for clarity. My motion is to approve the job description, not the contract. We don't approve on contracts that the director's job to hire based on the budget within those perimeters. As long as it doesn't go over, yes, there are some factors in that, but ultimately, we're not approving the contract, just subscription, right?
That's correct.
Okay, may I ask a question then, please, Madam Chair? Would you state what you said, that our role is to do what?
We don't hire, employees don't work.
I know they don't work for us, right?
We approve the budget. We do the position materials during the budget time. But this is just a description. You have to approve job description. Once that contract position didn't per se have a description, she'd bring it to us for the job description. We negotiate in the programs. Maybe under the budgetary process. They do that amount while it looks very good. It has no benefits. It doesn't have no benefits, not benefits. So it is a contract price that she's chosen for the budget. Is that correct? Yes.
I guess I'm just trying. I think this is the right thing to do for Miss Adams. Don't quit. But I'm just trying to learn where you stated the part about unless it goes over the budget.
Within the budget parameters that we give the director, it's like with the instructional teachers sections. We budget an amount.
Okay.
It's her job to keep pictures, and if she needs to add one to a certain school because of an influx of students, she doesn't have to come ask us every time because money's should.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. I was just trying to get clarity on that.
Wouldn't be hard to
Yes, and that's what I was trying to get was information. So I make a motion that we approve this contract.
Another one?
Oh, job description.
So you say.
Oh, did you? I second that.
Job.
Any other discussion? Mr. Parker?
How many people's in that line item for contract? Like, how many contracts do we employ like that? I mean, you can just get close. I won't hold you. I'm just curious. Is it a bunch or just a couple?
No, we have, let's see. I have a contract for a retired director that's helping out with the maternity leave. I have a retired principal that's helping to mentor some of our new principals. But this is not a contract. This is a part-time, but it's not looking at her like a contract. So they're kind of different there. Do you know offhand, Valerie? I don't have that paper in front of me where I showed who's on contract and who isn't. Probably about 9 people. 9 to 10.
In approving this job description for this one in particular person, do we approve this job description? Is it approved and which she can fill it when Miss Adams decides to not work anymore? So, and that's, I mean, this in particular that we're approving right now, that's the only issue I have. And I'm not saying that, you know, as the compensation looks great, but the compensation set up for Miss Adams. And if we approve this job description as is right now, and Miss Adams leaves, can the director put someone directly in this since we've already approved it?
She can anyway, and I would even argue we don't have to approve this because of the contract budgetary
Okay.
limitations already. I think it's a formality issue.
Um, I think probably it's a formality. She did submit the job description for approval, but it's just the job description that's being approved, not the compensation or not the person. It's just the description of the duties and what's being done in this job. And yes, she could, if Miss Adams decides to leave tomorrow, she could fill this position with someone else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Different organization and
Right.
this job.
Any other questions? We have a first and a second to approve the job description. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley, Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Field,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Is field trips under student services.
We have field trips that are in our regular board folder, but we also had some added field trips that came in later. So you will see within our regular packet that our dance team from January the 30th to February 2nd is going to be in a competition at Walt Disney World, and you see all of the itinerary, what they are doing for the dance team. They have historically taken this trip and competed in this competition. So this is historical. It's just come to be, and they're getting a head start on the approval because they have to make a lot of advanced planning for this. So that is that. It is out of state. And then Creekwood, the beta convention is at the Opryland Hotel. You'll see that it's in November from the 21st to the 23rd of November. So we will need to get approval for that because it's an overnight field trip. If you look at your orange packet, we have 3 additional field trips that came in later, and you will see that the DCHS choir is taking a trip on the 18th and 19th. And I printed the hotel information. I did not print that for all of you due to the fact that I just keep it in my packet that they are staying at the Holiday Inn. Then Dickson County High School, Mr. Butler is, it's a speech tournament, and so they will be going on that November 2nd. And the chaperones are listed on the 3rd page of that packet. And then the last field trip is a fishing tournament. This is a club due to the fishing is not TSSAA sanctioned, will never be. We kind of had that conversation because of the Bass Incorporation, but you will see that what they will do Friday, 7 a.m. to 5, they go out and scout where they are fishing, and then the tournament is actually on Saturday. That has historically been how fishing works, that the students take that Friday to scout and ride the lake, and then they fish on Saturday. Those are the ones that have to be approved for this month and for November. Are there any questions?
Make a motion to approve all field trips as currently presented to us.
A motion, we have a second. We have a second from Mr. Chadwick to approve the field trips as presented to us. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Our next items are policies for the first read.
Yes.
Before we do that, I'd like to make a motion that in regard to the policies, that we agree policies we tabled. We need to bring them off the table, take action items in policy 2.43, 5.301, policy 6.414. It's all tabled, they all come to what positions need to be removed from the table.
Second.
Motion and a second to untable those policies. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Ms. Thiel,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Carries.
So the first policy for first read is 1.102 for board members.
Is there any changes proposed for this?
Other than what we looked at the thing.
Which does in fact have changes. Have any questions about that policy?
Do one at a time, or we're going to question them all and do one before.
I think we can do one big vote on the first read for sure.
Well, then if we're doing that, I'd ask that we pull out 1.105. You want to discuss it individually? Madam Chair, I have a sentence that I'd like to add to it. Do that now. On line 3, I would like to add the board's decisions shall be nonpartisan and made in the best interest of the students it serves.
Can you give us a reason why you want to add that?
Yes, sir. Because on policy 1.102, that's the one that we had the discussion about during the planning session, that because of state law, we are required to remove it being nonpartisan. And therefore, that was the law for how we as board members are chosen or how we elect to run. This section is about us as board members and our school board legislative involvement. And so that's why I think this board should look at each issue that is presented to us as being a nonpartisan decision and should not be based on a political party. On line 3, right after this cause period, the board's decisions shall be nonpartisan and made in the best interest of the students it serves.
I really think that let's make decisions. Policy too, but while your decision may be partisan driven,
Thank you.
If you get the word in, Mr. Morris, you need to repeat it. Okay, thank you.
Swankley. I don't think it's necessary because it's prefaced by it's designed to improve public education. So I don't know if we discuss it now, discuss it in the work session. I just don't know what it accomplishes, and it almost like it puts that in your mind. I don't know. It's like, how would we know if in your heart you've had a partisan slant? So I don't know.
It makes her feel better.
Well, I just feel like there's certain things that are going to be coming up at the legislative level that, in fact, decisions will be made at that level based on the political party. Naming vouchers as a focus that's coming about. This body has stated very clearly that they are not in support of vouchers. And so that's just why, for me, it does, as Erin said, it does make me feel better knowing that not only this group, but boards in the future will understand that we're supposed to look at the decisions that we make as nonpartisan.
I said, probably, the policy would be really hard to change.
Right.
Or you do
We ponder that and decide. So this is just first reading, right? Work session.
as for reading and then bring you change if you want to, or you can look into it later.
Like we did on some of the others, we removed them. You can do it either way.
Procedurally, we have to pass it on first reading and discuss it.
We don't have to do the first read tonight. We can go table and talked about again and then brought back first read.
This is the first time we've had one of these. And really, even if some of the ones we did 4 or 5 years, we haven't addressed this policy wise, but sometimes we thought that pass on the first reading, it's one step closer to being done, less chance to really discuss it. So if it's something that's really close to you, that you want to have a discussion, to get the public input, have more time, you probably want to take it to give you a little more time, especially something that really isn't going to affect the daily operation.
And
Mr.
I
Barker.
might want to ask, if passed on first reading, we do have a work session in between our next meeting. Can we add a first reading pass to the work session for discussion to get it tuned in for the second reading in November to be finalized? And if that is possible, I'm not pushing anyway, as long as it makes you happy. And we can pass first reading as it is, and we can let Miss Steele and maybe say why she wants it in there a little bit better, and have that discussion on the work session. And I say that after Mr. Haley just said that this really doesn't, it's not affecting a daily operation, but passing it on first read tonight does get it a month closer to being finalized. And not that we had the discussion last time, we're going to do policy every meeting anyway. So
We can vote it, however we feel comfortable. Well, I've said mine. Do the work session to discuss more, even if it's passed on first read. So, however y'all want to do it.
Or you can make a motion to pass on first reading. Ideas, giving you an option. As to which you're changing.
So I guess based on that, I'm going to make a motion that we adopt policy 1.105 with the wording changes. Is that what you're telling me to do?
I'm saying you can't do it.
Yeah.
You could do it, that you have that option. So does.
Yes.
So your options.
second the motion.
And we're just right now working on policy 1.105. Right.
Yep.
Right. Any other discussion on policy 1.105? Have a motion and a second to approve 1.105 on first reading as amended by Ms. Thiel. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Ms. Thiel?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Now, let's go back to the others. We'll be doing them as a group. On first read, 1.102, 1.200, 1.407, 1.501, 6.4081, 6.414, and I believe 5.301 needs to be first read. I think we tabled it before it was approved last time.
That's correct.
Bill. Madam Chair, I have two words that I want to change under 1.501. Or maybe 4 words. I don't know. Can't count really. Which line? Down at the bottom, underline on 26 through 28. This states that we're going to do this with printed copies. We currently have registration done on Scour, so I was hoping that we might change the wording to be shall be provided an electronic copy of the Code of Conduct in line 26, and then on line 28, delete sign a statement and change it to say acknowledging electronically. So adding the word electronically that they have read and understood
Yeah,
what it says.
it is what the state law says. Electronic versions are not precluded by we could delete the word printed
Okay.
in line 26, and shall sign a statement acknowledging does not preclude the acknowledgement under Skyward.
Okay.
And in fact, that's specifically approved in state law.
Okay.
Under the Electronic Signature Act. So
Okay, so would we with an electronic copy, or would we just?
I think we just take the descriptive word printed out and just say with a copy.
Okay,
And then that covers either.
gotcha. Thank you.
Any other changes?
That's right.
One question. So you're saying we're not going to do printed copies?
Right.
You don't want to send those home?
No, because we don't send, it's my understanding that everything at the beginning of the year is done electronically. That's how we do registration now. It's not the old school. So this will be provided, what I'm assuming, I don't know what the process will be, but I'm assuming it'll be
I think
included.
with not being so specific, it gives us the option. Because if our computer system is down, we're going to have another option. And so if we just say electronically, then it holds us too specific. So I think this gives us an option by not being so specific, either printed or electronic. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any questions or changes on any of the other first three policies?
Thanks. Do the policy on both meetings.
Second. With, as amended. Yeah.
Motion and a second to approve on first reading. Policy 1.102, 1.200, 1.407, 1.501, 6.4081, 6.414, and 5.301 as amended. 6.44 is taken, right? So I wanted to table on this. We brought it back. Put it on here.
Mhm.
We untabled it to put it back on.
Got
here. Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Ms. Field?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have second read. Policies. The first one is 4.210. Second one is 4.600. 4.608. And 2.403.
That is 6.414 will be everything.
For second reading?
No, 6.414, but back to first
It was-
reading.
First.
Yeah.
Yes, it was on the first reading.
Because
It's the one I moved to first read. We approved that in the first read. Yeah. That's one we had tabled before we approved last time. So it's 4.210, 4.600, 4.608, and 2.403.
all the respective changes that we had discussed and accept.
Yeah.
Move approval.
Second. We have a motion to approve on second reading and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Lampley?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Ms. Field?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have elect the delegates for the convention. I want to nominate Ms. Lampley, Mr. Chadwick, Ms. Field, and Mr. Parker to be our delegates at the PSBA Assembly.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have comments by DCEA, Ms. Morris.
Dr. Sutherland, distinguished members of the school board, my distinguished colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you today. My name is Carrie Joyce, and it is my privilege and honor to represent the Dickson County Education Association as their president. I'm here tonight to submit to you a petition containing the signatures of over 200 Dickson County educators regarding our interest in beginning the collaborative conferencing process with you. Tennessee Annotated Code 49-5-603 recognizes that the collaborative relationship between the school board and its professional employees works to our mutual aid and benefit. Together, through this collaboration on educational climate and working environment, we can achieve the same goal: to attract, support, and retain a highly qualified staff. The Professional Educators Collaborative Conferencing Law, that's a lot to say, is called PECA for short, recognizes the obligations of the board, together with its teachers, to collaborate on matters relating to the terms and conditions of professional employee service, and sets forth the process whereby together we can produce a mutual agreement for the memorandum of understanding on issues such as salary, insurance, and working conditions. By submitting these signatures, we, the educators of Dickson County, signify our desire to begin our collaborative conferencing process with you. Data suggests that school districts who have a memorandum of understanding attract and retain more teachers. We hope to gain with our neighboring school systems, such as Robertson County, Clarksville, Montgomery County, Williamson County, Murray County, Rutherford County, Coffee County, Bedford County, Cook County, Knox County, and Shelby County, who have already completed this PECA process and have all successfully ratified a memorandum of understanding between their district and their employees. At this time, I would like to share with you a video presentation of some of those school districts who have already completed the PECA process. Hit it, maestro.
In the past, Tennessee teachers exercised their collective voice through the process of collective bargaining.
Today, it is done through collaborative conferencing. Collaborative conferencing is the legally approved method that Tennessee's teachers can have a collective voice in many important aspects of their job. The purpose of collaborative conferencing is to ensure teachers have a voice in their role as educators.
It's important for the district to know what's going on in classrooms and the struggles that teachers are facing. So I think it's important, especially in today's age where teachers are sort of getting it from all sides, it's important that they have a voice and that they know that there's someone there that's on their side.
When teachers and school district administrators engage in collaborative conferencing, they have an opportunity to present their interests and concerns, along with proposed solutions in a safe, transparent environment.
Collaborative conferencing is not an us versus them situation. It is about educators coming together, supporting each other, and moving forward for the benefit of our students.
The law provides that once teachers request to collaboratively conference, it is an obligation of both the board and the teachers to engage.
In a lot of ways, it makes the work more efficient because you do meet before a crisis comes. You plan how you are going to handle issues down the road by defining how you'll handle that before there's a question.
There are 7 key areas which can be negotiated under PECA: salaries and wages, grievance procedures, insurance, fringe benefits, working conditions, leave, and payroll deductions.
I would recommend collaborative conferencing because it allows us to build relationships with our district leaders. It defines who we are and what we have. It tells everything about our working conditions, our work day. It outlines for everybody to know and understand our rights and our responsibilities, and it's just very clear.
Collaborative conferencing has benefited educators in my district with dealing with some very important issues. Wages and salaries, benefits like our insurance. We cannot leave out our working conditions and grievances.
Now that we know what collaborative conferencing means and what it's used for, how do we get the ball rolling? To begin the process, educators should reach out to their local TEA UniServe coordinator. TEA has UniServe coordinators across the state working with educators in every school district. TEA offers free joint training for both association and school district administrative teams, which can help facilitate the process.
Teachers are undergoing so much stress and so much of an increase in workload that they need to feel like there's someone that they can speak to. What we can see in working with the people on the management side is that they really do care about teacher concerns, and they want that information as well. And so we can be a voice for those teachers.
Additionally, there are also resources on the Tennessee Education Association website.
I would encourage administrators, educators in another district to absolutely give collaborative conferencing a try. It is coming together and problem solving, which is what we encourage our students to do. So why wouldn't we model that same example?
Contact your local TEA UniServe coordinator today and take the first step toward creating a fairer and more transparent education workplace.
I want to make it clear that this video was filmed before the law passed about
Once everything
payroll
perfect.
connections. I think the next video is actually about Dr. Weeks. Anyway, the first pages of the document that I'm submitting to you contain the wording of the actual online petition, and on the subsequent pages you will find the names on the petition. As you know, once the petition has been submitted, the board's responsibility is to appoint equal number of board members and professional employees to serve on a special question committee. It outlines the conditions and particulars of conducting a confidential poll of all eligible professionals and whether or not they would like to enter into collaborative conferencing. I am honored to accept your nomination and will serve on this special question committee if your board sees fit. Thank you for accepting the petition. I know I speak for the entire association when I say that we look forward to collaborating with you in this process. And as all good teachers, when we tried this last year, we learned from our mistakes. We have gone back to the drawing board, and we are back at it again. So thank you. Can't wait to start this process with you. And if we could have a picture with Crofton accepting the petition, TEA and Dr. Sutherland. TEA wants a picture. All right, ready? Here we go. The royal handing of the petition. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Joyce.
Thank you.
So I want to make an appointment of the special question committee, and put Miss Terry Joyce, Miss Trevina Jones, Mr. Steve Haley, and Mr. Aaron Parker on the committee. Yes.
Since we have a couple of new, I hate to keep saying new board members, it's not derogatory, but as much as it's information, it's a lot to the floor. This is a legislative process, and there's supposed to be things in the law that we're supposed to do that definitely taken and that are coming up. I'd ask Mr. Hall maybe to elaborate that for a moment.
Sure. As Ms. Joyce said, so the first step is the local teachers association to present a petition, which they've just done, that has at least 15% of the professional employees of the LEA to conduct conferencing. The next step is to appoint a special question committee that then polls all of the members of the professional in the LEA to see if they want to engage in collaborative conferencing. That's the first question that's asked by the special question committee. And then the second question that's asked by the question committee is, if they do want conferencing, who then do they want to represent them? And there are other associations that may want to be involved or nominated. I think last time we had two or three choices on the special question committee that were asking to represent professional employees. And so then that vote has happened. It's done all online. There's a voting window. The votes are tabulated. If more than 50% of the people want collaborative conferencing, then you look at what entities they want to represent them in the collaborative conferencing process. And it's all statutorily prescribed timeline. And that's why we wanted to go ahead and appoint the question committee tonight, because we had to call a special session last time to appoint a question committee. So we're just kind of killing two birds with one stone here tonight.
Any other questions about it?
Each of you represent a different school.
One more thing to point out, I think our meeting get announced in the public meeting last time, but it's income, it's the committee that's going to be, I think last year we had it, and there's some others that came, and the committee that they make some legislation. It's a process.
Director's report. Principal Appreciation Month, we appreciated our principals today. And so the directors and I carried baskets to each of our principals, and you saw the pictures running prior to our meeting. And it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we want to make sure that we recognize both of those for the month of October. Would like to say, are you enjoying your book, The Way of the Shepherd? Have you gotten into reading that? It's a good book, and we are reading that with our principals and the directors. Creekwood Volleyball lost, as we're hosting this meeting, so they are third in the championship. That's an honor. I got the privilege of going to Murfreesboro and watching this. Play. Those young ladies really played well together as a team, and I was very impressed with the level of athleticism from those high school girls. And so, great game. I enjoyed that, and I think they did well, and so we're proud of them. My understanding is Mia is here. Oh, did she leave?
It's not Mia. It's not Mia.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not. No.
Oh, okay. So, the next thing I wanted to share was Professional Learning Days Monday. Teachers, no students. And so I have placed in your folders what these days look like for professional development with teachers. You will see the elementary division, the secondary division, and I added the professional development for our social skills and high needs teachers for you to look at if you would like to come by and view or be a part of one of the sessions. You have what we will be doing that day. Also in your packet, we updated the picture of the community leadership team. And so I've added that. Some were not here to be pictured, and so I will update that picture right here in your packet. I spoke this morning at the Rotary at 6:45, and by my understanding, history was made. I am the first female director of this century that has ever spoken to a Rotary. And so I was honored that they asked me to speak to them, and it was a great group, and I look forward to going back to see them and speak with them. We are working diligently and have been with our instructional team on the TISA report. We will be sharing that report with the leadership team to give us feedback, and then we will share that draft with you at the planning session in November. So you will get that. You can ask us questions, and we'll move from there. And then we will have to have, it's a draft approval, but it's still a working document. So in our November, or at our November board meeting, our secondary division is conducting data chats. So Dr. Thiel and Dr. Marvin have been very busy at our secondary level schools, and I'm very proud of those conversations. Our elementary division, Miss Fortner has been very busy with instructional rounds and with our K2 power blocks for Tier 1, observing them, asking questions. And so looking forward to all that happening within our schools. I will tell you the data is in. And so Dr. Thiel we're desegregating that, talking to schools. We have some strategic conversations set out. Next week, I did invite Miss Sherry Thiel by accident because when I say Thiel, I just push it. And it's very difficult having two S Thiels. But anyway.
Well, and then she canceled me.
But anyway, we're going to have some strategic conversations next week about some of the data that has been revealed. And the leadership team will be a part of that, and they will take place from 3:30 to 5, 3 days next week. Let's see. We are reviewing applications. I really appreciate the instructional team for the open labs. So we will, at the planning session, share with you the teachers that we selected to be a part of the open lab and to be a good resource to help us grow our teachers to even getting better. And so I'll go into more details in regards to that, but we will share their bios and their pictures at the November board meeting, regular board meeting. We'll talk about it planning, but then we'll share their bios and pictures and maybe have them here because they will come next week to sign their little contract on the stipend that they will be receiving. Dad, I just said that the data is in, and so stay tuned. Dr. Thiel will be presenting data at the November regular session, probably board session, planning session. So if you have questions, intricate questions, that'll be appropriate there. Want to keep Miss Melissa Garten in our thoughts around her sister Faye, and Miss Andrea Bobian lost her father-in-law, Mr. Bob Bobian, who was longtime teacher here and coach. And so we want to keep both of those families in our thoughts and prayers. Report cards go home tomorrow. Our students may want us to keep them on the prayer list for that. I'm kidding. Creekwood High School, again, very proud of them. November 4th, Parent-Teacher Conference from 11 to 7. And I hope the next time that we will see the dog that was presented to us at our planning session. So I know that Ms. Johnson is looking at that, and we'll be looking at some policies from other districts that have these support animals. I think that's all I have. Excited about the work to come, but we are wrapping up. We're already a third away from this school year. 40-something days have already passed, hard to believe. Questions for me? Mr. Parker?
No,
Any
ma'am.
questions?
I ain't got nothing.
Have any comments from board members?
I will say we appreciate each of you and the work and the learning. We're all learning together, so appreciate you. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to comment. I appreciate the CTE newsletters
Uh-huh.
and to see the work in the middle school. I didn't know about that.
Yes.
That was
So,
interesting.
Mr. LeComte, bragging on the newsletters, CTE. Yes.
Ms. Thiel? Well, I would just like to report that the Charlotte Middle School gymnasium has been painted, and I went by one of the nights that all the maintenance guys were painting, and the gym looks great. Now, Mr. Clifton says it's not going to last, and I assured him that's okay. It just looks good for the time being. So I just wanted to thank all of the maintenance guys that were willing to work overtime to make that possible.
It does look good, and I will share pictures. So I'm very proud of the maintenance department, and it feels good to move forward with projects.
It certainly does.
So proud of that, and we're going to continue projects. So got lots of those, and it's just making our schools look good. I hope you're getting out and seeing the outside of Dickson Middle School and some of the other schools. Just pressure washing helps a lot. So we're thankful for that. We're appreciative of all of you that have come tonight. I will say, do you like our shirts? I have one director that she chooses to wear it for a short time and changes into another color. We won't mention any names, but anyway, she says white drowns her out. Could she be in green right now? So I appreciate the team and all the work that they have done this past 9 weeks. And so look forward to the weeks and months ahead. They're moving very quickly.
I want to remind everyone, so y'all don't forget the TSBA, November 7th through the 10th, and the planning session, the next one is November the 12th at Dickson Elementary School. No, Oakmont.
Yes.
At 6 p.m.
We had to change that due to some other scheduled event that happened and that was happening. So we had to flip-flop those schools.
And Miss Lampley and I are going to be attending the new members conference on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So we're going to be well
We're gonna learn it all.
Yeah, we're going to be well educated.
Yes, we will be.
Well overwhelmed.
Mr. Haley.
Where is it? I hate to put you on the spot, I'm gonna ask you if it's not a good time, let me know, but since we have to do a public announcement and our time is short, I think with Mr. Parker, how about next Wednesday, 4 o'clock here at Central Office for our initial meeting? Is that good with you too?
Yeah, works for me.
Rebecca, is that good with you? Okay. So it needs to fit.
Yes.
I am. You think?
That's the 30th, right?
Last year didn't take long, we were out here about 3 hours on the first meeting. So, no, I have no idea. Everything was right there. It's I'm already been from this. It was really good meeting, but 4 o'clock next Wednesday.
4 o'clock? Yes, sir.
I've been up there.
Move to adjourn.
It's not common.
All right. We're done.